Come on, Lumberfoot, don't make me leave you behind.
I thought we'd be rucking, not running.
It's not my fault the thing was trapped.
All right, Captain Brain Trust, what do we do now?
Just gotta get it in the right spot. That's it, it's in.
Speak your path and enter.
Bloody path, bloody riddles.
What do we do now? I got us this far, it's up to you now.
Oh, it's my go, is it? I thought I was the pack horse and you were the brains.
Well, flattery will get you many places. Fine.
Passage?
No.
Doorway?
No.
It has to be obvious, because it's not written down anywhere.
So it has to be an obvious path. What if it's not talking about a literal path?
What do you mean, like life choices?
Yeah, something like that.
The darkness is getting closer.
I must have your final answer.
Okay, so it's a path, but not a literal path. We're thinking life choices, so vocation maybe? What vocation do we both share?
I don't know, you talk for a living.
I do, but you're the strong and silent type.
Not when something's trying to cut my head off.
Wait, I've got it! It's a vocation we both share, it's one we talk a lot for, and it's something we both want to get better at.
Yes, well...
It's voice acting! The answer is voice acting! Phew! That was close.
We aren't out of the woods yet. It's pitch black in here. Give me a lighter.
I only have matches. What are you insinuating?
Oh, come on. Give it here. I know you have one.
Fine.
Hello.
Who, what, where, when, and why?
I'm glad to see some newcomers have found this place.
You didn't answer my question.
I am your guide, a helping hand, and a fellow adventurer, just like you.
Fellow adventurer? So this really is the place we've been looking for?
Yes. Welcome to Cold Reads, a place by voice actors for voice actors. Here, aspiring VAs from all over the world have come together to hone their skills, working together to find their way down this crazy path called being a voice actor. We don't claim to be professionals, but we believe by supporting each other, by sharing our wisdom and experience, however long or short that may be, will help you take on whatever this journey may throw your way. We never said it would be easy, but if you have the passion, the drive, the courage to explore your humanity, and the thirst to improve yourself, you've come to the right place.
Wow! This place is amazing! So much detail. So much effort put into this. I wonder how many people it took to set this up.
Probably just a handful. But skilled people, no less. That's why I want to learn.
You've arrived just in time for this week's podcast, where we will be covering the specifics on how to hit the ground running on Casting Call Club, how to submit your auditions and building your portfolio, and any other tips and tricks our hosts might have.
Who are the hosts?
I'm glad you asked. Presenting this week's episode, we have Zamoody, Eldurrino, Renara Hawke, and PrincessPashley. And guest starring tonight, Ravemane. So come now and be a part of this adventure, brave explorers. And who knows, Cold Reads might have the answers you seek.
We are rolling. Wow.
Hello, everyone.
The bar has been set.
Oh my God. Remember how
That
I
was
said I
amazing.
already had an idea for next week? That just got blown out of the water, let me tell you. Holy crap.
The bar just keeps getting higher.
God tier intro.
Well,
Mhm.
I
Pretty
just thought, hey, I do audiobooks. I'm gonna do an audiobook opening sort of thing. So
Well, I'm looking
I
at
did
the
a thing.
file. I'm looking at the file right now. Was that like all one continuous take?
no,
Yes. Well,
I was about to be like,
No.
holy cow, because it looks
No.
like, oh, but I see now the splices. Now that I've looked at it again.
yeah, it was. I did the four main chunks first. So it was the main bit where we put whatever it is in the doorway. Then I did the two parts, which was the actual intro part explaining stuff, and all the other bits in between were done separately, and then all of the other sound effects were added in separately, one after the other. So it's quite a big Audacity file, but I still, yeah, it compresses it nicely.
So, I mean, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about that it's not just about being a voice actor, but you've got to be also really comfortable with putting stuff together. And I think Ren has got a great example of it right here.
Yeah.
So before we get too far into it, hello, that was an absolutely epic intro. For those of you that are here for the first time in chat, thank you so much for being here. If you're watching this on YouTube, we do this live on Sundays, 1 p.m. PST. And what we've been doing is we've been taking turns on doing the intro. I did the first one. Eldurrino did an awesome one last week, and Ren just like completely blew us out of the water on this one. So we'll have to figure out who's going to do the next one. Our guest today is going to be Ravemane. I'm going to hand off the reins a little bit to Eldurrino today and to everybody else, only because, like I said last week, I was going to get dental surgery. I do have it, and yeah, so I'm going to be a little more quiet this week. So take it away, my friend.
Thank God.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cold Read the Podcast, a place for voice actors by voice actors, where we teach you guys what we know about voice acting. We don't claim to be professionals, but hopefully one day we will all get there together. I guess at this point, then we'll go over a little bit of intros for everybody who has not seen us before. We'll start with Zamoody down below myself.
Hi, everybody. So my name is Zamoody. I started voice acting probably, I think it was about March. I've been in a couple of video games, mostly on the mod side. I've been a companion for Skyrim. I've done a couple of parodies, paid parodies online. So yeah, that's my experience so far.
Nice. Pashley, you can go next.
So I'm an opera singer by trade and training. And I am the greenest one here, I suppose. And so once the craziness of starting my new job stops, I will be able to hit this pretty hard, But my goal this week, I have to make a tangible goal or it won't get done. I am going to record 5 auditions this this
Yeah.
You heard it here, guys.
Awesome.
That's what you gotta do.
I
Hold
love
me
that
to it.
Ravemane has given us this.
It gets simpler as it goes on. Renara, if you want to go next.
Hello, I'm Renara Hawke. I've been doing voice acting for about 4 or 5 years now. My training is in film production, so I have a bit of both sides. I will be in things like brain fog. I've said it so many times that it's kind of gone whoosh. Skywind, you'll hear me as quite a few voices in that. Once that comes out, I've done a lot of audiobook stuff on my YouTube channel, at Renara Hawke. And I just do a lot of singing, reading, filmmaking, and all sorts of stuff, and as many voice acting things as I can. So yeah.
Oh yeah. And lastly, I am the Road to Eldurrino, otherwise known as the Water Messiah, Twitch chat and YouTube chat. Drink your damn water. I've been doing voice acting for just a few months now. Having the time of my life with it though, really enjoying it. I cannot wait to see where it goes. Hey, that's what I'm talking about, Raven. Speaking of Raven, today's special guest is Ravemane. Everyone want to give him a
Hi.
tiny little golf clap?
Like this, ready?
We prefer jazz snaps in this house.
Oh, well, I'm in my house and not yours. That would be kind of weird.
Only if you make it weird.
So Ravemane, otherwise, do you want us to call you Raven? Do you want us to call you Mark? Which would you prefer?
Whatever's comfortable. We're very fluid about that.
Right on. I guess we'll just stick with Raven then, since that's what's on the screen. So Raven is a musical actor. Actually, all this
An award-winning musical actor.
Award-winning, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's right there.
It's right there, yeah.
Ayo.
We got the award right here to make me look like a legitimate actor. We have the guitars on the wall to make me look like a legitimate musician. We are doing great.
That's how you do it. So what kind of productions have you been in?
I've been in a lot of productions. I've done mostly musicals because it's kind of my jam, and musicals are fun. It's like a little bit, you get to do a little bit of singing, a little bit of acting, a little bit of dancing, all at the same time, which is a nightmare. But I've also dabbled in a little bit of straight play acting, if you will. I've done a Shakespeare production because I feel like you're obligated to do at least one. Give it a shot. Just go for it. It's fun. It's hard.
Of course.
It's like
fun.
Floss. It's like, it's good for you. It's
You may
unpleasant.
not
but it's good for
understand
you.
it at all, but you may as well just try.
It was a little bit of a nightmare for like 3 weeks, but like once everything clicked, it felt better than any musical production I've ever done. Once the Shakespeare made sense to me.
Ah,
nice. That's really awesome. Yeah. So what I could find on you is that you well, the notable ones that I could find anyways is you were Kennedy Murdoch in Grease, Andrew Jackson in Bloody Andrew Jackson, and then Tommy in the Who's Tommy, which I haven't seen the bottom two, but I know Grease pretty well, so I thought that was pretty cool.
What's funny with the Grease production, if I may?
Yeah, go for it.
The way that most people are familiar with the movie of Grease, and in the movie Grease, Danny Zuko sings Grease Lightning. This theater company that I did this with, they put out a promotional video featuring Grease Lightning because it's one of the more well-known songs from the musical. Sure. And so a lot of people were very confused when they came to see the show, and they were like, why is the Grease Lightning guy Kaniki? I thought that was Danny Zuko. One old woman who had come to see the show said, you were a phenomenal Danny Zuko. And I was like,
oh, no.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you having come. Thank you.
Right. That's hilarious. So when did you start showing an interest in acting, and then what kind of like drove you to pursue it further?
Well, in my junior year of high school, there was a girl I fancied, and she told me
always
there it is.
Every single time.
Yep.
She said,
Liddy would say the same thing, just so y'all know.
You should try out for the spring musical because you can sing. And I was like, I don't know. So of course I did it because I was sweet on this girl. So I auditioned for The Music Man with the entirety of the song Epiphany from Sweeney Todd, which that is a bad choice. Just I want to be very clear.
See my face right now, Raven. You see my face right now.
Choice. I did it a cappella. I did everything I could have done wrong for this. And by the way, the music director did not ever be like, I have seen enough. He was like, I want to see where this goes.
Oh, no.
It's probably a different experience, you know.
Just letting you dig your own grave,
with that music director to this day, and he still makes fun of me about it.
Wow.
Really? Wow.
Like I'll be like telling people like, yeah. Remember that time you auditioned for The Music Man with Epiphany from Sweeney Todd? And I'll be like, I had actually just forgotten about that. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think I ever did that. That's nuts.
So that was that. I stuck around with it because it was fun. I had a good time with it.
Oh, sure. Right. No, I mean, it's a hell of a number, but yeah, I mean, at least to kind of like learn from that, that maybe trying to go over the top isn't necessarily the best idea, but to each their own.
Confirmed.
It's also good to be a tenor. It's also good to be a tenor.
I wasn't a tenor until like 6 years ago.
It's also good to be a male singer in musical.
Yeah. when my voice decided to be like, oh, you're an adult now. Let's do that, I guess.
See that? Your voice has dropped with the weight of your responsibilities.
Let's mature, I suppose.
So I guess kind of backpacking on that, what advice would you tend to give to either like on-screen actors, on stage actors, or even voice actors? Any advice that you wish you had known early on?
Yeah, a lot of people have this idea of what acting should be, and a lot of people like to overcomplicate acting. Acting is really it's hard. It is, but it's not that hard. Like, to my way of thinking, all you have to do to be a good actor, and I'm literally stealing these words from Sanford Meisner, all you've got to do is just be true to who you are. Just be, all you got to do is be authentic, which is very easy and very hard. That's it. That's all you got to do. Just, if it feels right to you, trust yourself to make good choices.
Right.
Now you just sound like my parent.
What is Sanford Meisner? Is that weird?
Wow.
Daddy Meisner.
So one of the reasons that I was so excited to have you on, Ravemane, because most people focus on the voices you can make and not the acting side. Voice acting is more about the acting and less about the voices. If you could only do one voice, but you could do it believably in multiple roles, you're set. So I having you on, it's an honor because, like I said, you're award-winning actor and everything else, and you can give us feedback on our auditions, and you even jumped in and did an audition yourself. I was super excited to see that.
Yeah, it was fun.
Mhm.
I never done
Yeah,
that before.
it's very much the Robert De Niro approach to acting. Like there's different ways that people do their things, right? But Robert De Niro was definitely very simplified. Like, how would I feel if this were happening to me? You know what I mean? Rather than, I don't know.
He
Right.
very much goes by that fundamental definition of acting isn't much more than living truthfully under a set of imaginary circumstances.
Right.
Yes.
It's almost
Very
it's,
true.
it's basically just putting yourself into another human being's shoes and going, how would they react in this situation?
Yeah,
Basically.
but there's true transformative actors like Daniel Day-Lewis, who just basically, from all reports, his wife has to live with that character for the duration of filming of, like,
Oh.
Lincoln or There Will Be Blood, or just completely loses himself. But
Mhm.
Yikes.
And that's totally valid. That is a
Especially for
perfectly
Gangs of
valid
New York.
way of
Dude, the
going
dude
about
has won
acting.
3 Oscars. Like, cheers to him.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Also became like a world-class knife thrower, by the way, for There Will Be Blood. In case anyone was curious
Really?
about that. Like he got
Interesting.
real good at it.
Wow. I wish I could throw knives, but then
Same.
I'd probably go to jail.
I'd want. I was gonna say.
I mean, I have knives. I just if I threw them, that would probably be a bad thing.
Be butter knives.
So when it comes to when you choose to audition for different roles, what roles do you usually find yourself fitting the best, or which ones do you normally end up pursuing?
When I'm auditioning for things, I shoot to audition for things that seem fun to me more than anything else.
that's
Like
important.
a lot of
yeah.
people, I like to use Les Mis as an example because Les Mis is the quintessential example of a show that I would like to audition for and have a strange choice of role that I would like to pursue. A lot of people be like, oh, obviously you're going to be shooting for Marius or Angelas, and I could not care less about Marius or Angelas in Les Mis. I want to be Grantaire. I want to be the alcoholic philosopher who's like good friends
Really?
with like the weird little kid because he sings "Drink with Me" and that song's banger. Number one. Number
Is
two,
banger.
he has such an interesting emotional through line in the show that I think it'd be really cool to explore.
Sure.
So you're not out for like the stage time glory,
Oh, I want to have
Like,
fun.
Speaking
Yeah.
of like, Shakespeare, like everybody, all the actors want to be the nurse, not Juliet. I almost said Joliet. Jesus.
Is that some musical vectors there?
Right? Yeah, no, but it's because it's a more interesting character to play.
Yeah.
So
No, and I can totally get behind that too, because like as being kind of in the spotlight can definitely have its own fun behind it, but I'm of the same vein where I want to play the guy that's just out there, like one of my personal goals when it comes to voice acting for 2021 is I want to be the bad guy in something, whether it be small part, big part. I just want to be a bad guy because that's what I think that I excel in. I'm good at sounded like an asshole, to put it plainly. Um, but I really like doing the really weird out there voices too. Which I mean, it's just the most fun for me. I don't care about having the spotlight the whole time or having the most lines. I just want to be something that I enjoy doing, and I think that's really what's most important when it comes to pretty much all performing arts is just have fun with it. And if you're not having fun, then why are you doing it? Like it doesn't make sense to torture yourself just because you want to achieve, fame or stardom or whatever.
Because if it starts
100%
becoming
different.
unfun, you kind of just end up feeling like you're dragging yourself through broken glass for nothing. If you know what I mean, or the payoff doesn't seem as good. It's the journey, sort of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Uh,
All right. So here's. Oh, go ahead, sir.
No, I was gonna say I'm watching chat because I want to make sure not to ignore chat. So I appreciate everybody who's putting in their comments. Yeah. So B Liddy, absolutely, I could see you doing a Sweeney Todd or a Jekyll and Hyde, and it's absolutely right. It's more about what you're gonna have fun with. I mean, and that also falls in when the voice, because when you're miscast into a role, it is painful to see it and to feel it as you're trying to go through, because the emotions that you want to come out aren't going to be there, and if you're not having fun with it, it'll show in your performance.
Right. Absolutely. All right. This question of the interview. Are you ready? All right.
Mhm.
Uh, so I've seen plenty of your Twitch sings videos, which gotta say, singing voice phenomenal. I wish I
Absolutely.
could be on that level.
Ashley approved.
Mhm.
Also seen that you like to keep yourself in very great shape, which again I commend you on. So my question to you is, what is your fixation with headbands?
I'm so happy. I'm so happy this is a question. All right, this is a two-part answer. Two-part. First part, I have a friend who I like to call my father because it bothers him a lot. His name is Brad. Brad wears, or for a very long time, wore headbands to the gym every single time I saw him at the gym. And one particular workout, I was sweating a lot, and it was just constantly coming down my forehead, and just every 2 minutes, it's out of the head, and I'm like, this is torture. And Brad goes, why don't you just wear a headband, because the sweat will stop right there if you wear a headband. And I was like, you're right, thanks, Dad. And he told me to go to hell. So
Hey, just like my dad.
that's why I started doing that. And then I kept doing it because when my hair gets really long, like this length roughly, it starts getting a little bit unruly, and it starts doing stuff I don't like it doing in the front and in the back, and the headband hides all of that.
Let's go
Ah.
quarantine
Smart.
hacks right here.
Stylish and effective. I like it.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to think of a really strange question to ask you, and that's the best that I had. So I'm glad that you actually had a prepared answer for that. That's really awesome.
You seem surprised of the question, and nobody else asked you that just yet.
No,
Because I was
No one
reviewing
ever
I was reviewing our duets because I posted something last night, and I noticed you were wearing the exact same green headband in the 2 Rent duets that you've done with me, and I found that hilarious.
which is strange because I have like 15 headbands. I have a lot of bandanas.
You have like a closet for your bandanas.
They're actually sitting right there behind my award on top of this cabinet.
Nice.
There's a
I wasn't
yellow one
sure.
right there.
I wasn't sure if maybe you were trying to pull back like the 80s rocker look or something like that, which I think you could pull off personally, but
In my wildest dreams.
you just got to grow out your hair like
Steve
another,
Perry.
12 to 18 inches and you'll be set.
We're so close. We're almost there.
Halfway
So
there.
when it comes to like your performances, whether it be singing or in theater as well, what do you normally do to kind of get yourself in the zone or just warm yourself up?
With regards to warm-ups, I have a voice teacher who gave me a couple of warm-ups that he thinks are very good to get myself in gear. So once I get to the theater, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find a quiet space. I'm going to do my warm-ups very much to myself. I have the Google Pixel Buds now, so I'll just pop those in my ear, press play, and I will warm up with my voice teacher on my cell phone, which is great.
Smart.
Nice.
Once I'm done doing that, I'm gonna keep the headphones in. I have like I like to make Spotify playlists for whatever show I'm doing.
Right.
And then I'll just listen to whatever's on that Spotify playlist for like a little bit. When we get to like 15 before curtain, I'll usually put my stuff away. Put the headphones away, that is. And just make sure that I know what I'm doing. Converse with people. Take it very chill. I know a lot of people who are like poring over the material, making sure that they've not forgotten something. I'm of the opinion that if you have reached 15 minutes before curtain on a performance and you are
That's
still
not the
reviewing your
time.
material, you are in an uncomfortable place. And I wish you the best. But I would not want to be there. Hopefully I know what I am doing by 15 minutes before curtain the night of the performance. And I just chill, take it very easy. It's gonna be fine. Everything is gonna be great. We're gonna go out. We're gonna have fun. Have fun.
Yep. Very important. No, that's really interesting. Do you have any weird little niche things that you do as far as warming up? Like, I know some people like to, run around a lot, to kind of get themselves a little amped up, or they do like weird noises with their mouth, anything strange like that?
On performance days, and really only on performance days, I go to the gym at like 5 in the morning. Like I'll go to bed very early the night before. I will get up aggressively early. So early that I hate all of my choices. And then I go to the gym.
So nighttime
That's
you and
about
morning
as
you
weird as it
hate
gets.
each other at that case. In that case.
Oh, very much so.
Mm-hmm.
In an aggressive, uncomfortable kind of way.
I can get behind that. All right. I already got to that question. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep
I
track
love how
here.
prepared you are. Keep it up.
I did my best.
Yeah.
You said you were in a number of different plays and whatnot. I did look over your resume. Not that I'm like offering you a job or anything, but what out of all of those roles, what would you say your favorite role to play was?
Please excuse me while I pull up resume. I've done a lot of stuff, and I just updated it the other day.
Oh, nice.
Can I
Oh,
also,
did.
while you're looking this up, Eldurrino, stalker much? I mean, this is awesome.
I was gonna, yeah.
It's on my Twitch profile.
This is
I put
good.
it there.
He's got to do homework before getting in here.
We have a command and everything for it.
Shit, another bar is being set here. Dang it.
Why don't we worry about getting your teeth fixed first, okay? Like,
Hey, this is the last one. Just
time.
cavities and we're good. So don't mind me.
Okay.
So I've got different favorites on this list of things for different reasons. I liked playing Jimmy Smith in Thoroughly Modern Millie because Thoroughly Modern Millie, as culturally insensitive as it is one of my favorite musicals. Jimmy Smith sings very, very beautiful songs that I had a very good time singing. It was my first time working with a group of people who are very, very, very good friends of mine now. So that was really cool. I like that. Bloody Bloody Andrew Jackson, playing Andrew Jackson was a nightmare, actually, because the director of that particular production, who also directed Thoroughly Modern Millie, as it were, made what in the moment felt like a very cool choice if you are working with a group of actual, real life, responsible adults. And that was, the show was set. He was like, we're going to set the show in like a dingy little dive bar. And the premise is going to be you are all improv actors doing long form improv in the form of a musical talking about the life of Andrew Jackson. Okay, great concept. He goes, but we're in a bar. So I'm going to allow you all to drink on stage.
Oh, crap.
Oh, boy, method acting.
And if you are working with a group of responsible people, and there were a number of very responsible people in this cast, that is fine. But there were a handful of people who are not responsible. And so by the closing performance, the stage manager had to go around the theater and throw out bottles of Beef Eater gin hidden around the space.
Oh, no.
Oh, my.
So working in that condition was a little bit of a nightmare. However, Andrew Jackson gave me a lot of confidence as a performer because like 85% of that show is just Andrew Jackson. And I figure if I can navigate my way from point A to the end of this show in spite of drunken debauchery, I can basically do anything. If I can navigate those waters, what can't I do functionally? So that was very nice for confidence. Favorite of like overall would probably be Robbie Hart in The Wedding Singer. That gave me a lot of confidence as not just an actor, but as a musician, because the music director was like, hey, would you be cool playing live on stage your guitar for like 80% of the numbers? And I was like,
dude, what?
Yes, I think so. We can probably do that. And that managed to work out. So that was really cool.
Isn't that what
Very
the guy from the guy who plays Yaskier did? He just basically was told to, can you learn the lute for all of this for like playing on screen? And he was like, yeah. Joe Beatty, that's his name.
I think
he
actually.
did. I think he did that. Yeah.
All right. What do you believe, since you've done a number of musicals, is the greatest musical ever written?
Ooh, controversial question.
Yep.
I
Well,
saw
this is
you
an
stagger
opinion
them too.
question,
Yeah.
so take this with a grain of salt, everybody.
I'm ready to fight here.
B Liddy in chat already saying Les Mis.
Fucking hey, Brian.
Greatest musical ever written. Sunday in the Park with George.
I love the nod. I love the nod.
Nope. My
Sunday
Fair
in the Park
Lady,
with
the
George.
best written. My Fair Lady,
It's
absolutely.
the perfect musical. It's like head to toe. It's the perfect musical. It's so good.
I'm liking where your mind goes with Stephen Sondheim there, but for me, just because maybe it's my bias, because I want to play Eliza Doolittle so bad. My Fair Lady, I just could watch over and over again and chuckle. No, Liddy, you're crazy. Love you, but you're crazy.
It really is lame.
This is an opinion
Are they talking
question.
about the show or
Ryan.
the film? Because some
Definitely not the film. Can I
Yeah,
just
no.
okay, hang on a second here?
Okay.
Fuck
the film.
yeah.
Fuck the film. Okay, we're done. PSA done.
Cool.
If you
Thank
ever
you.
want to see us see Liddy and I fight in Jello, like about whether we like that movie or not, like that's the topic.
I'm sorry, in Jello.
That's what I heard.
You
are
heard it
like,
here.
You guys
Is-
are gonna like get a kiddie pool full of Jello and like
Is that
fight
Discord
it out.
later? I'll tune in.
Maybe in Discord later in the inflatable pool, like
Nice.
the inflatable kids pool, so you
Is
can
it-
like
is this
really
an-
throw each other into the wall when it gets rough. Never mind.
this
This is
an
just getting
OnlyFans
worse.
This
thing?
is completely derailed. All right, let's reset now, please.
a-
Let's all go back to one.
It's okay. No, but for real, is this an OnlyFans thing? I must know.
Maybe.
All right. All right. My last question for you, Raven, is as many of us already have, we all have, different actors or voice actors or performance artists that we all look up to. Me personally, I look up to Mark Hamill a lot. I look up to Gray DeLille a lot because she's the voice of a ton of different characters from my childhood. So whether it be on-screen actors, stage actors, voice actors, who do you look up to or who inspires you?
I got a weird list.
Weird
please.
is fine.
Hit us with it.
I like guy named James Snyder. I like that
Okay.
guy. He's a Broadway actor. He
Mhm.
before the bad times came, he was playing Harry Potter in The Cursed Child on Broadway.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, okay.
He originated the role of Jason in Bear, a pop opera. He's very, very, very authentic as a performer. I really like that. I like Ramin Karimloo. He's just very, very pretty. And for my money, he's the best Phantom in Phantom.
Okay.
And Stephen Lynch. I really like Stephen Lynch.
Any particular reason why for him?
He found A, I love his comedy. He's very, very funny. But
Right.
B, seeing him as Robbie Hart in The Wedding Singer, he found a brilliant way to both hit all of the requisite Adam Sandler beats in The Wedding Singer while still staying very
Very much
true
away
and
from Adam
authentic
Sandler.
to himself,
Oh, sure.
which I thought was very, very interesting. That
If we're
like,
gonna-
interesting balance.
If we're all gonna say, I would definitely say Jennifer Hale has a big impact for sure.
Oh, of
at
course.
the very least.
Mhm.
Gideon Emery. I mean, those are my two favorites at the moment. Jennifer Hale was a massive one for me at the very least because being a woman with a specific, quite a lower voice than what I heard growing up, hearing a woman with a low voice and resonance and playing a badass character kind of gave me the confidence to go, yeah, there is a place for me, sort of thing.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to throw my hat in and say, yeah, that's my one.
Just
How about you
clarify.
guys?
I love that.
I'm gonna throw my hat in on a lovely actress who just passed this year. Her name was Rebecca Luker, and she was the quintessential. She had ALS, and it really moved quickly on her. But she played when they had the revivals of Showboat, Music Man, Sound of Music. She got cast in all of that, which is a huge honor. But not only did she have a beautiful, clean, she could bring. I'll go on a diatribe for just a minute.
That's fine.
There's a two voice approach to musical theater nowadays that just drives me up a fucking wall. And it is you bring a chest voice as high as you possibly can to a scream until you can't, and then there's a very thin high voice, and it's very, very unless it's mic'd, it's not going to be heard. Rebecca Luker is from this school of this old school ingenue. Your head voice can legitimately hang in the middle and to lower C, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Which is how these parts are written. And I don't want to hear it from anybody else because opera singers and musical theater singers used to be interchangeable almost. So anyway, but she was of that old school, but she was also a very convincing actress. She was the first Christine, like after Sarah Brightman and her understudy Rebecca Luker was in that on Broadway. And she also was one of the few to do it on point, because she was also a trained dancer. So I totally look up to her as a performer, and she was never like really good. Like she was never really super famous, but she's one of the most talented Broadway performers to ever live. So anyway, head voices are okay, guys. You don't need to belt everywhere.
Zamoody, do you want to chime in on the ones that inspire you? Or?
Well, I grew up watching Batman the Animated Series, so Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill are huge influences. My crazy voice is based off of Mark Hamill's Joker, and I do a pretty okay Kevin Conroy Batman when I need to. So I'm happy with those, and I've been expanding off of them because, I mean, there is already a Mark Hamill, so you have to kind of figure out where you belong and then kind of tree off of that.
Oh, no, I'm going to also just add one more person because I can't believe I forgot her. Jo Wyatt. She has been in loads of EA games. She voices female Hawk. She's one of those ones that kind of slips under the radar, but she's been in like loads of things. And because of her performance as Hawk, that basically inspired me. I really love this character, so I'm going to name my name after this character. So thanks to her performance, that happened. So yeah.
Well, suddenly it all makes sense now.
What about you, Eldurrino?
Well, yeah, like I absolutely look up to Mark Hamill. I loved Avatar: The Last Airbender, and when I found out that he did Lord Ozai, I lost it.
I was today years old that I learned that. That's
yeah, it's super wild, and like you can. When you really pay attention to it, you can definitely hear parts of his voice come through because it's kind of similar to the Joker once he starts hitting like higher registers. But yeah, at first I had no idea just because I was so enthralled with the show itself, and then I learned that, and I was like, wow, this just completely blew my mind. I look up to him very heavily. Like I said, I really like Grey DeLisle. She does a lot of cartoon characters from when I was younger. Also did a voice in Avatar. I really like Stephen Ogg, who, if you all have played Grand Theft Auto 5, is the the voice and the face model and the motion capture artist for Trevor.
He's on Walking Dead too.
Yes, yeah, he's been in that. He's been in like Better Call Saul. I think he might have been in Breaking Bad. I don't remember fully, but yeah, he's one of those guys that's kind of slipped under the radar as well, but he is very, very good at what he does, and he's very good at being like that kind of like in your face kind of character, and that's the kind of like roles that I like to do as well, is just a guy that is like just always in your face screaming at you, just being a complete nut job. Who else? Tara Strong, another female voice actor.
Of course.
So many different voices. Again, number of them from my childhood. Absolutely love her to death. Yeah, Lady Troy Baker is another really good one.
I could see John because we've got FS on net saying John Delancey. I could hear John Delancey in you, so I can understand why you'd like him.
Yeah, Nolan North is a good one too. He definitely has a very good range.
That was a good one. Vic Mignogna, he's amazing. Rooster Teeth pulled a bad on him, but Vic Mignogna is amazing. I think someone remind me what he's done because I've forgotten what he's done other than the fact he voiced Crow in Ruby, and then
wasn't he the Full Metal Alchemist?
Possibly. I think he was in Hellsing as well. But he's done a lot of anime, and he's done loads, and he's really good.
Everybody's gonna have to grab my screen here in just a moment. I'm switching over to Casting Call Club, so we can talk about it.
Sure.
Yeah. So in the past couple of podcasts, we've gone through basically the process of starting in voice acting. You start with finding that passion or that drive to really get into voice acting, whether it be you like performing, you like acting, you like doing impressions, impersonations, whatever. The following week, we started talking about the type of equipment or setup that you would need. You need a fairly good quality, very important. You won't have any success if you don't invest a little bit of money into it.
Mm.
Having a good recording environment too, while not necessary right off the bat, does help your chances a little bit. The less background noise that you get, the better overall. So now that kind of leads us to now when you're ready to start looking for auditions to record and then submit them to people and then see what happens. Zamoody, if you have your screen ready, I'll let you take over for a little bit if you would like.
Well, let's talk about this real quick. So first off, yeah, Casting Call Club. I'll make sure it's in the description for the people that are watching on YouTube. For those of you that are here in chat, I'm going to post the particular one that we're going to be talking about. In addition to, I wanted to note, because, you know, Pashley, this is the second time you submitted an audition on here. Ravemane, this is your first time that you've submitted one, correct? So how was the UI? I mean, just so everybody understands, because we talked about it, you used Audacity, you captured your voice. How was the process of uploading for you?
Super
I
duper
haven't
easy.
uploaded this one yet, so
No, that's fine. I mean, it's up to you if you want to upload or not.
I mean, it just seems in the comparison with all we do as streamers, it's a drop in the pond. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Again,
several little drops lead to a pool, then to a thing. So it's not
Yeah.
how you got to keep going at it. It may not
Well,
feel like a lot in the moment, but the more you
I-
do, the more it'll count.
I guess what I'm trying to encourage is like if you're already streaming and doing something that complex, this is not nearly what that is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So
So for the most part, when it comes to submitting your auditions, you can do it in a WAV format, you can do it in an MP3 format. And we mentioned a couple podcasts ago, it's super important to make sure that you note how the director wants the files, because that can immediately, because like Matt Man said, this is my criteria. You don't meet it, then that's it. And I'm assuming in stage, that's a very similar concept, Raven, and also in the musical side of things. So you went. We did two different sites, obviously. Eldurrino, Ravemane, and myself. We did Ken, and then Bren and Pashley did. Is it Andrea?
Yeah, Andrea.
Okay. I always have issues with that particular name. I apologize. So before I play any of these, and I'm going to start with our guest first, just because you're here and I can do that.
let's go.
When you
Throw him
saw
into
the
the
sheet,
fire.
anything in particular grab your attention? Is there anything that before we play the audition?
So this, what I really liked about this is it in the lines and in the blurb that it gave about who Ken is, it gave, to my way of thinking, a lot of information, like a huge amount of information. Like we know this person's a father. So you're going to be approaching side 0 in a very particular way through that lens, number one. We know this person is a scientist and an engineer, and based off of lines that he says inside number 1, he built a very particular variety of UI. So he's a very, very intelligent person. So you're going to be approaching that in that capacity. And number 3, he has a very, very tumultuous relationship with this Mark Giorgiano individual based on this and also the synopsis above. So I used a lot of that information to inform a lot of the choices that I made in delivering these particular lines. Also, when it said voice and tone are open for interpretation, that was that felt like an open invitation for me to make even yet still more choices for the way I chose to deliver the lines, particularly inside 0. It's Annie ! Annie ! I'm pretty sure my first Annie is almost kind of like Annie ! First ! Second. Because I was not necessarily sure if he is literally, as it says, seeing Annie for the first time. Like this is like he is now seeing his daughter for the first time, or he has been seeing his daughter for the first time for a while and has been calling out to her for a while. I went with the former. He is seeing her for the first time and is now calling out to her. That sort of thing.
Awesome.
Sure.
Here we go. I'm going to play this for everybody. 3, 2, 1.
Annie? Annie! Look at me, Annie! Baby! Look at me. Rachel, show me all of the recent pings near home. No, that can't be right. Rachel, show me all of the recent logs from Mark Giorgiano. Rachel, show me all of the... What do you mean, no access? I built you, you fucking... Sorry.
Okay, so I know
Pretty good.
it was really well done. I mean, by all means.
Really good.
I'm doing the jazz snaps, okay, guys?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Remember,
yeah,
from the again, and generally tend to look at it from the technical point of view, we would have wanted probably more volume, especially on the quieter parts.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the WAV file that you have, and I'm thinking you're somewhere around 20 to 15 dBs, probably in your. Let me open Audacity. I can actually look at it through there. I mean, you're obviously a stage actor. I mean, what more can I say? So while I look this up, we go ahead and if anybody else has any other notes.
Sure. Just another small like technical thing too. Plosives are really big when it comes to recording. Any hard P's, B's, T's, stuff like that. I noticed when you said pings, like that was you could hear like the breath of air. Going forward, a really neat trick behind that I use a lot is just angle yourself at a 45-degree angle when you need to, and then the air goes straight past the mic, and then that way you don't have to worry about that. So, just a neat little thing. Otherwise, I thought it was really, really well done.
So yeah, looking through you're somewhat in the sweet spot in some places. The yelling parts are great; they're coming through awesome. But it's just like, the only thing I would say is just watch out for that little thing.
I think it's great. I think the only thing it's probably only really minor, but I felt like it was almost a bit slow in the sense of like I understand you're taking your time for it, but I'm so used to hearing people saying like their lines to like not a beat, but like how do I say it? A little bit faster. This felt like I was watching it as an actor. There's a difference between how people who have gone through the voice actor thing before what you've done and what you've done. I don't know. Does anyone else feel like it's slower than what you normally hear on this site in the sense of it's paced out a lot more and it's
in a sense
much more thought out in the delivery? I think. I don't know.
I don't know. I think that's where like the mediums differ because Raven and I, being stage performers, like we have the luxury of the visual.
Yeah.
And so you can include like kind of these nuances that may not carry over. So for me, I don't mind because like I can kind of envision that myself, but it depends on what format you're in. And that's where we pick you guys' brains. Like, well, does this work?
Right.
And maybe it doesn't.
At the same time, I also really like the slower speaking, just because I feel like it almost like accentuates the intelligent part that you were speaking about earlier when it comes to Ken. Like, not everyone speaks super fast. Some people who are intelligent do end up speaking more slower and more concise. And I thought that's definitely a different look upon it that I'm sure a lot of people didn't really even think about.
I mentioned a considerable amount of time ago. To my way of thinking, acting is all about being authentic to who you are. In speaking to Rachel, the AI, my process for that was, how do I speak to my Google Home?
Right.
To make sure that it understands every single word I'm saying. So to that end, I actually think there was a big failing. I think there's two things that listening back to this, I wish I had done more optimally. Number one, I get from Annie, look at me, Annie, to baby, look at me, way too quick. Like entirely too quick. I have realized much too quickly that Annie can't hear me. I think that probably should have taken a little more of a breath, if anything. And I rushed saying the name Mark Giorgiano. If I said Mark Giorgiano that quickly to my Google Home, it would be like, here's what I know about DiGiorno's pizza. Like it would
Yeah.
immediately not know what I'm talking about.
Well,
Right.
because we talked to Mattman. Mattman does a lot of projects on this particular one. I don't think the pause is a bad thing, only because if you put in too big of a pause, you're going to
can be
lose the
edited.
director's ear.
Mm.
So just this is perfect. The beginning. The only thing only other piece I would say is you got about a second or half a second at the beginning that can go. So
Yeah.
as soon as you hit play, it should just boom and just immediately go and the director can hear you, because they're only going to hear about the first 5 seconds and then move on to the next person. And then when
Yeah.
you get to the next step is when they generally tend to hear the whole thing. So that's a good tip to always start it immediately and start with your best foot forward.
Absolutely.
All right, Eldurrino, you or me? I'll let you pick.
Me.
All right.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Get out of the way.
3, 2, 1.
Annie, look at me, Annie. Baby, look at me. Rachel, show me all of the recent pings near home. No, that can't be right. Rachel, show me all of the recent logs from Mark Giorgiano. Rachel, show me all of the... What do you mean, no access? I built you, you fucking... Sorry. Annie, look at me, Annie. Baby, look at me. Rachel, show me all of the recent pings near home. No, that can't be right. Rachel, show me all of the recent logs from Mark Giorgiano. Rachel, show me all of the... What do you mean, no access? I built you, you fucking... Sorry. Get off me, you undead bastard!
I like that. Okay.
Thanks.
So you improvise the because the end it literally just says "arg." It's as your line.
Right.
You're fighting off a zombie, and I love that you added that. Get off me, you zombie bastard.
I liked how the first one was more clear-minded, clear-headed person, and the second one you were much more aggressive in your, like, when you got angry. There was more aggression in that, and so I like that you showed 2 different versions of that. That was quite nice.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was thinking too. When I was recording, it was I wanted to do one that was more of like a softer, more like emotional dad side to it.
Yeah.
And then the other one was more of the, like, I don't know, angry side of him, just to showcase, that the character could be taken in either way.
Yeah.
I will note, I like that you used your breath as part of the lines. I could hear the intake and the exhales, and it was really, really, I think it added to it.
Sure.
I think so.
Cool.
Mark, any notes from your side?
Ooh, in the Annie, look at me. Annie, baby, look at me line. Like in between look at me, Annie, and baby, look at me. There's, I can see it right now in the WAV file. There's a little voice quiver.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that did it. That did it for me. I was like, I'm locked in.
Very
In
good.
the
Awesome.
pocket.
And
Thank
in take two, we really sold that. I like that it felt like two different scenarios. Like scenario one is you're seeing Annie for the first time, like I was talking about, like immediately, like this is the first time we're seeing and we're calling out and we're kind of over time realizing, oh, she can't hear me. The second time it felt like this is the first time we've seen her and we've come to that realization. The first time was very, very pleading and I like that. And the second time was soul crushingly defeated. And that felt real good. I like that a lot.
Nice. Thank you.
Also in take two, in getting annoyed with Rachel, I like that there was almost like a crescendo to your annoyance with the AI. We like that a lot as well.
Awesome.
Okay.
Cool.
Boom.
My turn. 3, 2, 1.
Annie, look at me,
Baby, look at me.
Rachel, show me all the recent pings near home. No. That can't be right. Rachel, show me all the recent logs from Mark Dragonio. Oh, Rachel, show me all the... What do you mean no access? I built you, you fucking... Sorry. No. Penny, look at me. Baby, look at me. Rachel, show me all the pings near home. No. That can't be right. Rachel, show me all the recent logs from Mark Dragonio. Rachel, show me all of the... What do you mean, no access? I built you, you fucking... Sorry. Okay. Thank you.
Nice. I like the aggression there, like in him being irate. I thought that was really, really well done. Yeah,
I have to say I prefer the second one to the first one. I think mostly because the first one I felt like you just hit the ceiling with your aggression, and there was very little else for you to go. Like you were talking about how there was a crescendo in Eldurrino's. I think with your one, it's blocks. You've got the same level of emotion in certain areas that it's not flowing as much as it could. But your delivery and we knew exactly where you were in the headspace for it, I think. So I think that comes across like very well. But yeah, it felt very Lego-y to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
And we want more of a sort of... I speak pictures, by the way.
We like pictures.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are visual people.
Yeah. Someone else say something good, so I don't feel like I'm
No, it's fine. This is how we advance. It's perfectly fine. And we mentioned it before. You
also
have to
showed the colors of your voice is kind of what I was. I'm always listening for production of voice because that's just where my ear is. But like you in the second one, the range was a little bit bigger, if not like a little bit lower. You know, so in the beginning, you know, you're like, oh my god, you can speak up in this voice, and it's you know, frantic. And then there's like something earthy about the like, I fucking built you, like, you know what I mean? So I think I don't know if that's important to casting directors, but that's certainly if you're thinking about like you want to. I think in any audition you go to, you want to show what you got.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
So.
Very cool.
Sure. Raven, you have anything to add?
Oh yeah.
Oh crap.
Oh yeah.
Inside one in the second take, what I thought was very, very, very interesting, added a lot of color to the character of Ken, as I had alluded to earlier. He's got to be baseline very intelligent. He built an AI, he engineered a virus, if you will. So smart cookie. What I like is when you were talking to Rachel in the second take, you started off very, 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 very clearly very intelligent, very calm, very collected, but just like everyone else on planet Earth, when Siri did not do what you wanted Siri to do, you slowly but steadily evolved into a little bit of a rage beast. And I love that because that's what technology does to people all the time.
As someone who works in IT, I can confirm this. People get irrationally angry at the smallest problems.
Oh my
God. Also in take
one.
I
stopped when I've stopped doing that. I just go and move on and get someone else to do it.
I don't. I shout at my Google Home.
Yeah, I was gonna say Liddy could tell you a story or 5.
Yeah, you guys have heard me do rage out because I've got an Echo Dot right in front of me, and every time I say its stupid name, it does something weird.
I've also hear you just get murdered by a ghost. Like, oh my god.
Oh
shit. Or when I burp into the mic and you're like, oh shit.
Pashley likes to scare the
Hashtag just
crap out of me.
Pashley things.
By the way, we need to all play. Those of us that play Phasmo, we need to play a Phasmo together because that's always a lot of fun too.
Agreed.
Yes.
About it.
Also, in
Looking at
take
you, Raven.
one, when you first did the Rachel thing, what I thought was a very, very nice touch for me. I might just be being selfish because I like the idea of this. I like that instead of going, Rachel, show me all of the recent home, you went, Rachel,
Right.
show me all of the recent, as if you were, because this is a thing I wish I had done when I had done my take. Whenever I'm at home, if I don't go, hey Google, how much time is it going to take to get me to the Count Basie Theater? I will go, hey Google, I will wait to see four lights light up and then ask my question. So I like that you gave room for Rachel to boot up, if you will. I thought that was a very nice little
Or start paying attention. Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
Good point.
Awesome. Anything else?
Nuance.
All right. I'm gonna put Ren's up.
Oh God.
Only because I gotta share another screen for Pashley. So here comes Ren. 3,
Sorry.
2, 1.
I apologize for my terrible accent.
Okay, let's try that again. All right. 3, 2, 1.
Did you forget that there are cameras everywhere? I sent the cam feed to Echo, and it turns out she's extremely valuable. We can't lose her. And by the way, you know nothing about what it takes to live in my shoes. So before you ever fix your mouth to talk about my poor family, make sure you've already walked a mile. Wow, this is better than Luna's. Kidding. Did you forget that there are cameras everywhere? I sent the cam feed to Echo, and it turns out she's extremely valuable. We can't lose her. And by the way, you know nothing about what it takes to live in my shoes. So before you ever fix your mouth and talk about my poor family, make sure you've already walked a mile. Wow, this is even better than Luna's. Kidding.
All right.
I will remember next time to do 2 takes. By the way, I only did 1. I'm sorry.
No, it's personal preference when it comes to if you're going to do 1 or 2 takes.
Oh, okay.
So
I can listen to myself speak I can listen to myself speak normally fine, but whenever I do an accent, I always just go because I don't want to offend whoever's that accent is.
100%.
Accents scare me. We avoid accents like the plague in this house.
Right. The only in regards to the accent, really the only thing that I thought that could have been done better, and I know this is difficult because being from England, is the hard R's.
Yeah,
the bird R.
Yep, it's like it was apparent in some places, like when you said everywhere,
Yeah.
but other places,
It
like when you say R, it was more of a aw, So
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
that was really the only thing as far as the accent goes
Okay.
that needed to be like just focused on just a little bit.
Mm.
Otherwise, I did want to say in your second take for this an emotional line, I thought that was really well delivered. Like I could definitely feel the sternness behind it. Maybe a little bit like more enunciation on like fix your mouth. Before you ever fix your mouth to talk about my poor family.
Yeah, I get you.
More enunciation on that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, the delivery of the line I thought was really good.
I wanted to show that I could do it, like, you could still hear me fast as well as slow, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Well, I was putting on an accent, so
Right,
I was
absolutely.
trying.
I could give you the advice of like, because part of my job as an instructor is to teach people how to say different languages too. But like, you almost take it too far the other direction. Don't record it too far the other direction, but
Yeah.
rehearse it too far the other direction. So
Okay.
give the bird R more time than you think.
Right.
Oftentimes
Okay.
it puts you right where you need to be.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
just
I get you.
so anyway.
I'm doing some editing magic over here, so give me a second.
I'm sorry.
It's quite
I
all
wrote
right.
it down. I just want y'all to know. Submit as one file
Yes.
submit to the website. Okay, it's written down.
Yeah.
You
Can we
gotta.
get
I
some
mean, you
jazz-
gotta give yourself a
Jazz
shot,
snaps for
Pat.
that.
Jazz snaps, yes.
Excuse my previous woo.
I excuse nothing.
With regards to these reads, what is particularly in the first read, and particularly with side number 1, a lot of times when I'm piecing through a scene, I like to pick particular words that, in my opinion, are the most important words to put particular emphasis on. So when you're going through this, and by the way, you know nothing. Like
Yeah.
you hit nothing like it owed you money, and I was here for it.
I work with children on my daily basis, so I think it several times.
But like in the context of delivering a line, if you have a negation like that or something negative, like that's the one that you can favor. But like, but those also give you roadmaps. This applies to music too, like for your phrasing. And that
Yeah.
applies here because you can't just say it mechanically unless the
Exactly.
character calls for it.
That's what I was talking about when there's like a beat or a rhythm to a line. That's
Yeah.
what I'm kind of talking about. Yeah.
Right. And
English
that's
is a little difficult to do that with, but
mhm. That's a very important point that you bring up as far as um what words to put certain emphasis on. Like when I started kind of picking up at the voice acting, I purchased this like I don't know, like 12-hour like seminar thing that just goes over, like how to get started, what to look for in scripts and yada yada. And one of the things that they really harped on was reading your lines and make sure I mean, you're still reading from the page, but you really need to know those lines in and out before you decide to record it.
Yeah.
And he recommended making little notations above certain words, like, put a little arrow if you want to have like more of an upward inflection than back down, or just have like a slash to have that more of like a question or a solid line if you want to draw out a certain syllable.
Mhm.
So that was a very good point that you brought up. And I do encourage a lot of other people who are looking to get into voice acting to practice that right away, because
Mhm.
it will make your performances that much better.
It
Very
also
good.
can dictate like how the line is perceived, I think, as well.
Mhm.
Right. Yep.
But I'm just going to add that and shut up.
No, you guys
No, you're
don't
fine.
clam
You're
up on
fine.
us. We want you to talk.
Yes. You are the person
You are
that
the
we need
first
first.
person who's ever said that to me.
Am I gonna regret it?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Well, second, I remember.
I got
Yeah.
Pashley's all queued up.
Oh boy.
We ready?
Woo woo.
All right. 3,
Yeah.
2. Everybody's in the screen. Yes. Here we go.
Mhm. Did you forget there are cameras everywhere? I sent the cam feed to Echo, and it turns out she is extremely valuable. We can't lose her. And by the way, you know nothing about what it takes to live in my shoes. So before you ever fix your mouth to talk about my poor family, make sure you've already walked a mile. Wow, this is better than Luna's. Kidding.
Okay.
Okay, the
Can
kidding
we
is
talk
totally
about- Can we talk about, well, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But like that sentence in the second side shouldn't have been 2 sentences. So I was
One.
very bothered by that. Shoot, I shared it.
I'm
Oh,
bringing
so
it up
before
as
you
well.
ever fix your mouth,
I'm
talk
trying to
about my
find
poor
it.
family.
Hang on.
I'm trying to find it too.
Andrea.
And by the way, you
Yes.
know nothing. Yeah. All right. So those of you in chat, this is what this
Yeah, it should
specifically
be-
it says.
So it should read, so before you ever
sorry.
fix your mouth to, okay, and however I feel about that is whatever, family, it should read comma, lowercase m. That's just me
Yep.
being like snobby myself, and it kind of threw me for a loop. So I think that brings up
yeah.
a really good point.
Yeah.
This is grammatically incorrect. So you have
Right.
to like
Mm.
translate a little bit. Like it doesn't read well. Fix your mouth to talk about my poor family. Make sure you've already walked in
Yeah.
line. It doesn't
Yep.
make sense the other way.
Mhm.
So
Yep. And you definitely will run into that even in like more like even like paid casting calls. You will run into grammatical errors, and it's definitely up to you to kind of either, well, not necessarily rewrite it, but try to put the correct interpretation in
Oh.
there, because I agree. I don't think that there should be a period there, or
No.
if there would be, it would be more to kind of put some
It'd be
like
an ellipses.
emotional
Yeah.
space in there. Yeah, exactly. So
I'd also
instead,
kind of add like I'd say it's also important to ask the questions. Like if you see that and you're on a job, ask the question, "Hey, is this meant to be like that?" So you're not guessing, so that you're saving.
Right.
But that's if you can talk to the person who's running this. I did that with Matt, I think, first, asking him, "Hey," because when he asked me to do something different, I said, "Hey, how do you want me to say that?" Upon looking at it. So if you can, and you have access to whoever's trying to run the show, if it's a smaller thing, ask those questions. Don't be afraid to be that person, to stick your hand up and get it look funny if it's like a stupid question, because someone else is going to be thinking it. So
Oh yeah,
But
super do not ever be afraid to ask like if you
Nah.
have the capacity to ask questions and there's someone available to answer your question, take
Do it.
advantage of that
oh, of
Do it, do
course.
every single time.
Do it.
With
Yeah.
regards to this particular line, in looking at that, I feel like if I had to make like a snap in a cold read situation, if you will,
Mhm.
I would probably go about reading this line the same way I would read a misplaced period in a poem.
Yeah.
My sophomore year of high school, many moons ago, I had a teacher who was very particular about the correct way to read poetry, if there is in fact a correct way. If there's a period in the middle of a line in a poem, he was like, the poet wants you to breathe. Poet wants you to take a second and breathe. And I feel like that would be the function of that period there if I was reading for Andrea for whatever reason and felt the need to make that snap decision there.
Because that's the one thing that we all need to keep in mind, is that you don't always have the luxury of getting these lines ahead of time. A lot of directors thrive on catching you off guard, and you'll have a session with them and they'll give you the lines 3 minutes before, and they'll literally say, "Okay, whenever you're ready," because they will give you time to at least look over it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, and that's as close as you can get.
Yeah, I mean, I know
so many actor friends who
Ravemane.
hate that.
Ravemane and I'm sure doing some of these live auditions, you do only get a minute to read some of these scenes that they will hand you, especially if you're called back for something. The initial audition is like, oh, okay, maybe they're okay for it. And then when you get the call back, they hand it to you right there. And then you get a minute just to kind of read it over, and then boom, you're going. So it's a very important skill to learn to cold read.
Sometimes you don't even get a minute. You just gotta be really confident in your ability to make authentic choices.
Fabulous. Going back to your audition, Pashley, I would say also there was a lot of breathy noises that we could hear. They weren't like peaking, they weren't making dents in your what's it called, wave format, but it's definitely, we could hear it.
Yes.
And I would say just
like as far as like the plosives go, or just like ambient noise in the background.
I will
the first thing you said
from a technical point of view, I heard a hum. There was definitely a hum in your recording, and that would definitely be something that would be noticed.
Yes.
So something to think about moving, because we did talk about recording space and everything else.
So tell Brian to turn his fan off, damn it.
I don't think it was even on, so I'll go back there and try to be more fussy about it. It's a little chaotic for me right now because like I have to strip this all down in like a matter of 18 days, 17 days now, and move it upstairs.
Right, of course.
But
I would
are
say
you like moving or something, or
sit on it.
Pardon me?
No, what are you moving or something? I didn't know.
Kind of moving,
No, I don't. But yeah,
it's no big deal. Just packing up everything that I have in my life and moving it to a different living space.
Super casual.
Yeah. No, I have the dongle to put the mixer into a laptop, sit in the closet. Like I totally can do that. It's just like the chaotic elements in my life, the new job, et cetera. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying these things are eating my time. And the way my mind works is it's a carousel. You know what I mean? It's like, and then it goes to the back. And I'm like, oh crap, I didn't put it in the closet this time. And then, so
comparing your previous one to this one, you've jumped in quality. Like it's an improvement for sure. That's what I'm saying. That.
Just right.
I'm definitely saying that. We're just now picking out the finer, the little bits in them now, rather than the
this is
whole
why I
thing
haven't
as a
submitted
whole.
anything yet. Okay, I need you guys to school my ass, and then I can submit it.
But this is the sort of thing that you're constantly going to be learning and evolving. So you're going to
Right.
be sat waiting forever if that's the case. So
No,
just
I'm
throw
just
yourself
kidding.
out there.
I do want to
No
say
kid, I don't get it when you do that.
I want to say two other things real quick about the audition. For the side one, I feel like overall, it was stern, which I enjoyed. I felt like it was a little rushed. I felt like there
Okay.
could have been a little bit more space in between
Mhm.
the sentences. Although on the opposite end of that, I feel like rushing it can also imply some sense of urgency,
Frantic.
Yeah.
or like a
Heightened
frantic
emotion too.
nature, which is fine. I mean, some people may look for that. That's just how I personally would have viewed it. I felt it was more like I feel like it was because in the description it says that Andrea had a feud with Annie and has become emotional after a string was pulled. So that to me
Yeah.
says like, she said something that was, a shot below the belt, right in the cooch.
Oh,
So
believe me, I have a lot of
um
experience with that.
so
You don't say.
so
That was not a
I
sexual comment, by the way. That's personal. Like,
right.
I know
And
some
and
assholes.
and to me, I would have, I guess, like to hear it more as a just kind of like almost like a whimper in a sense,
Mhm.
which I think you did have at the beginning, which I was like, sick, this is gonna be really good, and then you just kind of rushed all the way
Did
through
you
it.
forget that there are
Mhm.
cameras
And I feel
everywhere?
like if you had implied more, or if you would have put more of like the emotional side in there, I think it would have been a really really good take. Um, the side two, though, with the fact that it was meant to be sarcastic, I think you pulled that off really well. I know you pretty well now. I know you're very sarcastic, so it's fitting. But I just wanted to, give you that compliment.
I
It
think
was
I was so focused on trying to get the accent right that I skated over a couple of things. And with me being dyslexic, some of those words, it was like load of information all in one go because I missed the sarcasm. I found happy. The way that second one is formatted, I think threw me off a bit because
Yeah.
all of the other ones had descriptions
One
of the line
line.
above it, and then it was like 2 and 2. So I kind of just sort of went, "Wait, what? Okay." Because I
No.
was like, "It can't be just laughs
Yeah.
kidding." So I think I threw that one slightly, but
That last second side really spoke to me.
yeah.
On the flip side to what Eldurrino was saying, inside number one, this is weird because I have a let's call it a famously bad reputation amongst my friends for adding too much space in between lines. So that I am about to say this is very very particularly strange and people would make fun of me for it. I like how little space there was in between things inside one, because if we are in the midst of a feud with a person because they have shot below the belt,
Mm.
to my way of thinking, what would be authentic to me is I don't want that person to get a word in edgewise. I don't want to give them the space to be like, yeah, but so I would bulldoze right through all of that and then put the period on to be like, and don't say a goddamn word to me. Like that would be my way of approaching that. That
Because I
having
was
been said,
There could be a
either way would
happy
be
medium there.
super valid.
Mhm.
Right.
Mm.
It's all about being authentic to yourself.
Because I was imagining because when I read through this, I was like, I imagined this person she's just taken her headphones off. She's in the gallery. Somebody's come in and she's like, "The fuck!" And like it's just she's angry at what she's seeing happening in front of her because it says irate. So I was just imagining, right, my time in the gallery in a TV studio was stressful as hell. So I understand this entirely. And so I just tried to get that sort of tearing your hair out irate. We can't lose her sort of thing.
Mhm.
Right.
My time being married to my ex-husband.
Wow.
Ooh,
Mm.
really pulling some strings here.
Mm.
So
All right, cool.
yeah, the other thing I did want to talk about when it comes to CCC, the nice thing, and I'm sure Ravemane you've noticed it, is that you can actually hear the other auditions that have been put up.
Yeah.
I did see
Yep.
that.
For the most
I
part,
wouldn't want to listen.
exactly. I don't tend to listen to it until after I've submitted it
Right.
Yeah.
because I don't want it influencing my take. So that's something to consider for those of you that are going to start using CCC to look at. It's nice, especially if you're starting out, because it'll help you kind of see what direction everybody's going in, and then you can
Yeah.
decide whether or not you want to go in that way.
Right. I think it is good to listen to other people's auditions too and compare it to your own, not necessarily because you want to copy what someone else is doing, but just to kind of like grow your interpretations of things. Like, listen to your own take and then listen to theirs and see how they, compare and contrast. And then you can, see like, I never thought of doing it this certain way, or
Yeah.
I never thought about putting emphasis on this word, or whatever the case may be. It's useful as long as you just don't like, copy paste it verbally.
Yep.
Literally, my entire styling as a vocalist, if you will, has been built upon a foundation of, ooh, that person did that cool. Let me
Yeah.
take this to my voice teacher, show them what they did,
Mhm.
ask how I can reproduce that sound, but make it intuitively
Yours.
my own. It's
Right.
in a similar vein. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Listen to what other people are doing. Absolutely, absolutely. If they do something cool, steal that. 100%. Absolutely.
That's for
But
streaming.
Not
make
wrong.
sure you understand
How?
why they did that thing.
Yeah.
How did they
Right.
arrive at that conclusion? Where are they approaching that from? If you can understand all of those sorts of things, please steal. Absolutely.
Because there's another
If
thing on
stealing is good enough for
CCC.
Mozart, it's good enough for you. It's fine.
Because on CC you can message other people. So if you like hear an audition, you like it, want to get some tips, you can message that person on CC and ask for tips,
Mhm.
which
Right.
is really, really, really good. I've got a question actually for
Sure.
people. So I haven't put a demo reel yet.
Okay.
Because I don't know what should be in it, if you know what I mean. Because I've done lots of different things. I don't know quite how to summarize those down. Is there a certain set amount of things that should be in there? Like, do I have to have like attack lines, certain things? Like is there a checklist that I need to tick off? Do you reckon, or is it just put your best bits that you think forward?
I think Zamoody probably has the best experience with putting it together a demo reel. So
Well, it's funny because we both have two. We Eldurrino and I both have demo reels. I waited until very recently to do it because I wanted more experience before I put mine together. Because if you put it too early and you actually play it for people, you can't get that impression back.
Yeah.
It's very, very important to make sure that you're in a good place because you will be remaking this thing. The second thing I will say is I've learned about 1:15 is the golden time. So 75 seconds total. You want to go between 5 and 6 characters. No more, no less.
Okay.
And you want to start with your better characters that generally tend to have a bit of a wave in a range. So I've got 2 demos right now, and one of them is my character demo that is just me. Very little sound effects, no manipulation to my voice at all. And then I've got my video game reel, which I did allow manipulation to, like if I was doing a robot or if I was glitching, to throw those in just to see how it would work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I've got a commercial reel, which is literally just me reading stuff out. And yeah.
All right.
I think we can probably use that as the topic for next week's discussion, because that's kind of where we're headed anyways, is creating your first demo reel, what to put into it after you've gotten some experience under your belt, and what to do with it.
Don't be afraid to keep submitting, though, into CCC, because that's super, super important.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to start playing this because we're going to start wrapping up here. So, Ravemane, thank you so much for being here. Thanks. I appreciate you coming in and being our guest and sharing your experience. Any parting words?
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, not a problem.
Any parting words?
Yes. For those that are trying to break into either voice acting or acting in general. Are you Googling a quote?
No, Mrs. Zamoody, I am an award-winning actor. I am a professional. I Googled this quote yesterday night. I have been prepared for like 24 full hours with this quote. William Shakespeare said in Act 1, Scene 3 of Hamlet, arguably the greatest play ever written, if you want to be real pretentious about it, "This above all to thine own self be true." It is literally the quintessential acting advice. William Shakespeare, per Sanford Meisner, per any acting teacher you're going to talk to, the most important thing as an actor is that whatever you do, you're being honest with yourself. You're being true to yourself above all else.
Love it.
The end. We did it.
All right, you guys. So, Eldurrino, anything for the group?
No. Like I said, next week we'll probably be discussing demo
I love
reels.
that. Yes.
Everyone else, we actually had a question that Renara posed a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone start thinking about the very first voice that you can
Yes.
remember doing, and we'll bring that up and see where that goes.
Love it. Let's go, Renara, anything to look forward to or anything you want to say towards the end?
Make more stuff.
Make more stuff.
and be creative, and don't let whatever's going on at the moment bring you down, because if you stop, you'll regret it.
Mm-hmm.
Pash?
I don't know. I think I was actually going to message you like with some social media strategies, in particular for the Twitch Sings audience.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people bought a lot of equipment. Would be a really great way to continue to use that investment, and just keep creating and moving forward, and try to build off of what we've built in the Twitch Sings community. Don't give up. Don't stop. So.
Yes, I agree.
Get it.
Keep submitting those auditions and keep trying out. With that, we're going to cut. See y'all next time. Bye-bye.
Take care.